What's up? What's up? What's up? Good morning, everybody. Okay, let's talk about this situation and get it over real quick. Okay, a lot of people have been blowing up my DMs like crazy, wanting me to talk about this topic that y'all know I really don't care too much about, but when there is like a situation that has like so many mothers saying certain concerning things, that's when I decide, you know what, I'm going to talk about this situation, even though I don't care to talk about these people on my channel anymore. If those of you guys are not aware, hey y'all, hey, what's up? Good morning, good morning, good morning. Shout out to all the night owls in the chat. Shout out to all y'all up this morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Thank you for the compliments, y'all. I see y'all, I see y'all, I see y'all. Okay, no, let me get back to the video. Okay. So on social media, a lot of people have been in an uproar about this whole Queen Naija graduation situation. And I have seen a lot of comments, a lot of comments that from women who I was like, this is really how y'all feel. This is what y'all are saying. And it's very concerning and it needs to be talked about and needs to be discussed. But before I talked about this topic, I wanted to do a poll on my channel to collect data from people because I've seen a lot of people saying the only reason that her family members wanted to be at the graduation was because she was famous and they only wanted to do so for that reason. And I started to scratch my head and I'm like, I'm not famous. People in my family ain't famous and we all go to each other's children's accomplishments. But anyways, I'll get into that a little bit later. For those of you, some of y'all probably like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? So let me break it down. So Queen Naija is a YouTuber and she's also a singer here on YouTube. For those of you guys who are not familiar, just because a person has 1 million subscribers or followers doesn't mean that everybody knows them. As you've seen when I covered the EDP 445 situation, he had 2 million subscribers and none of my following knew him, but he was very popular on the other realm of YouTube. And that's the same with anybody. Like, I could have a certain amount of followers, doesn't mean people know me. This person could have a certain amount of followers, doesn't mean people know them. So for those of you guys who don't know, she's a YouTuber and a singer, and she has had a very public situation between her and her child's father. She started off with a couples channel where they built the brand together. They built the brand, and I guess it was Chris's idea to build the brand, and they helped one another. They pranked one another, and they built up this couples goals type of situation. So from that situation, there was a breakup. The breakup was very big. And once she got with a new guy, it propelled her career because she got a song that was, you know, detailing her breakup, detailing her heartbreak. And for a lot of girls, it was the comeback story that a lot of people bought into. And they liked the fact that, you know, oh, she's bossing up, she's leveling up, she got a new guy. And a lot of people started to be invested in her story, invested in her music, invested in what she had going on. And it was a lot of, you know, back and forths between her baby father, who she built the brand, and now her new dude who's coming in to reap the benefits of said brand. Now, her baby father and her have, I guess, a co-parenting situation, and they are not in the greatest of, you know, terms. They're not on the greatest of terms. They, you know, they bicker back and forth. They are not fond of, you know, each other. Chris has done petty stuff. Queen has done petty stuff. They both take petty jabs at each other, not one person, not two people, each other. The parties that are behind Chris have taken jabs. The parties behind Queen Naija have taken jabs. And it has been a very not so cordial co-parenting situation. However, when it comes to the child, it does not matter if you like a person or not. Being a co-parent is not based on how much I like the dad. It's not based on how much we get along. It's not based on how much he respects me. It's not based on if he says kind things to me. It's not based on if he called me out my name. Co-parenting is not based on how much I like the other parent. That's not what co-parenting is based on. Co-parenting is not based on, oh, if you made me mad, therefore now I'm going to rip the child away from you, or now I'm going to, because I don't like you, you didn't talk to me nice, so therefore I'm not. That's not what co-parenting is based on. Co-parenting, for those of you guys who do not know what co-parenting is based on, because I've seen a lot of females, I don't know if y'all bitter baby mamas, I don't know what the deal is or however, and I've seen a lot of y'all giving very concerning comments about this situation, and it makes me concerned for your children who is affected by this. I'm a person. I have a custody battle that has been going on since my daughter was born. I'm not fond of my baby daddy. He's not fond of me. However, when it comes to my child, we have to come together to make decisions in her best interest. The decisions are not based on how much I like him and how much, I don't really like him, so I'm not going to let him have this weekend because he doesn't look at me nice. No, the decisions are based on the child. It's based on my daughter, what's best for her, what's best for my living arrangement, what's best for his living arrangement, how we can come together for the child. Now, I have a daughter who had a kindergarten graduation. Me and her dad's mother, we, at that time, we were cordial, but we are not the bestest of friends. I don't really, what I'm saying? Like, we're cordial, but I really don't care for that lady like that, period. My mom is very active in my daughter's life. And so is his mom. Both of them are very active in my child's life. But it's not based on if I'm, me not being fond of his mom that much. So I'm not going to invite her because I'm not fond. That's not what it's based on. So when my daughter had her kindergarten graduation, I sent out alerts to everybody. His mama, her daddy, my mama, my family, everybody got an alert about my child's milestone. And guess who came? Her grandmother from her dad's side, her grandmother from my side. I came, my family came, and we celebrated my child's milestone accomplishment. Now, I've seen a lot of people saying that, oh, well, she, the mama don't like Clarence, or the sister stole from Clarence. This is not an accomplishment for Clarence. This is not an event for Clarence. This is an event for the child. When my daughter seen her grandmother show up, who does not live in our county or state, my daughter's life, her face lit up. She was so happy to see her grandmother, that she doesn't see as often as she sees my mom. You know what I'm saying? Her face lit up. She was so happy, and she was so happy to have her grandmother there to share that moment with her, and again, I don't really care for that lady, but it's not about me. It's about my child. It's about the memories when she gets older, the bond that she's building with these people outside of me, for her to look back and have those memories with her paternal people, whether I like them or not, period. I've seen a lot of people saying that, oh, well, the sister, the mom, the words that came out of Queen Naija's mouth. Oh, I'm so tired of people feeling entitled. My mom and people are too entitled. And I looked at that, and I seen people, actual people who I hope some of the comments, they were not mothers, who agreed with that. I'm like, so in order for, and if you guys don't know her backstory, let me back it up a little bit. When she went through the breakup with Chris, right? When she went through the breakup with Chris, she went and she immediately got with the guy that she's with now, Clarence. In order for her to create this fairy tale of a couple goals, rebound, bossing up situation, she went to New York. left her child behind, and her mother took care of her child in order for her daughter to propel and do what's right for her career to go to the next level. I don't understand how a lot of people are missing that and have the audacity to utter the words entitlement for a person who has helped with your child. Now, I'm not defending the mom because whatever the reason, like her mom don't even like my channel. She's made comments on my channel, and she don't like me because I don't care for the way people operate on that side. But it's not about that. It's about what's right and what's wrong. And people got to realize what's right and what's wrong based on true facts, not based on how much you like somebody, not based on how much this person can sing well, not based on how goofy a person is. It's about what's right and what's wrong. Now, her mom watched her son for months and months on end to help her do what's right for her child to go to the next level and propel her career. Her bossing up and spending that time with Clarence in that basement, it helped a lot of people buy into the music that she was dropping at that time. It helped people buy into the story, the narrative that they were creating about this comeback story. A lot of people bought into that, and that was able to happen because her mother and Chris's mother, sorry, not just her mama, but Chris's mother as well, helped her with her child, and they have been a part of her child's life since birth. There's no entitlement. This is not some crackhead mama who ain't never been there for the child, ain't never done nothing for the child, and then coming and thinking that they supposed to be invited to certain things. This is a mother who helped you raise your child and was very instrumental in your child's life from birth and helped you in making moves to propel your career. And that person, when your child has a milestone, no matter how big or small, should be invited to said milestones. Those are not entitlements. I mean, if that's entitled, yeah, she is entitled. And for anybody to say that the mom isn't entitled to a milestone of her grandbaby is crazy to me. That is crazy. Anybody who says, well, the sister stole from Clarence, so this ain't about Clarence. This ain't everybody talking about everything that has nothing to do with the child. This is about the child. This is about the child. This is about the grandmother's relationship with the child. This is about a father's relationship with the child. This is about memories created with the child. Because guess what? When you get done being mad, which you will eventually get done being mad, your child will look back and not have memories with the people because you were mad in that instance, when this whole anger is only temporary. It's temporary. She is mad at her mom right now and mad at Chris right now. All of these emotions are temporary emotions that you're ripping away permanent memories from your child. Okay? Again, I'm not speaking on the fact of because I don't care for Queen. I'm speaking on the fact of what's right and what's wrong, and me being a person who co-parents with a person who I do not like. I do not care for my daughter's dad. I do not care for that side. However, when there is important events in my child's life, I'm telling everybody. Another thing that I've seen on the internet, I seen a lot of people saying they were agreeing with Clarence's video, and he said, for the people who wanted to be there, for the people who wanted to be at the graduation, can you answer me these 5 questions? Can you tell me who her teacher is, what the tuition is, blah, 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 blah. Let me tell you something. My mama ain't never called the school not one time for my child. She's never spoken to my child's teacher other than if she had to pick my daughter up for me. Like if I couldn't, if I was doing something and my mom had to pick my child up from school, and then, I think when she was in kindergarten, you have to, like, a parent has to actually physically retrieve them from the teacher. Other than that, my mom ain't never called and talked to that lady. Like in passing, she picked up Leah and everything like that. If I call my mom right now and say, Mom, what was Leah's kindergarten teacher's name? My mom is not going to know. She's not going to know. If I call my mom right now and say, Mom, what's Leah's teacher right now? What's her name? She's not going to know. She's not going to know. She doesn't deal firsthand with the teachers on that level. But when it comes to a milestone, a graduation, I've seen a lot of people say it's not a big deal. It's just a kindergarten graduate. It's a milestone for your child. When it comes to the important milestones, whether my mom knows that teacher's name, whether she has ever held a conversation with that lady, and I guarantee you, my daughter's dad's mother, she damn for sure ain't never called and talked to no teacher. Don't know a name, don't know what time I drop her off, pick her up from school. She don't know none of that. But when it came to my daughter's graduation, her kindergarten graduation, she was there. So when he was in his video saying, I want the people to answer this question. Do you know the teacher's name? Do you know the name of the school? Do you know that? Like, they're not going to know that stuff. Like, unless they're physically going to pick the child up and drop the child off, they're not going to know that information. And for the people that was agreeing with that, I'm like, y'all don't have kids? I'm like, I wanted to literally comment to everybody who was writing that. And I wanted to literally say, call your mom right now and ask her what the name of your child's school is and what the name of her teacher is if she does not physically go and pick your child up. Now, if a mom, a grandmother physically goes to the school, physically picks the kid up, then yeah, she's going to know, the name of the school. But if your mother does not physically go to the school and pick the child up, call and ask those questions, they're not going to know. They're not going to know. Also, another thing in his video, and a lot of people, I'm like, what? Like, a lot of people were saying, it's not a big deal. It's just a kindergarten graduation. It's not a big deal. It's not a big thing. Okay, well, if it wasn't a big deal, why was it so imperative that he showed up? Why was it so imperative that Queen showed up? In his video, he said, Legend was running a fever, and we absolutely could not miss CJ's graduation. We absolutely could not miss it. You want to know why he said that they could not miss it? Because it is an important milestone for the child. If it was not a big deal, if it was not a big thing, if it was not something that, it was something that was, because a lot of the comments say, oh, it's not a big deal. It's just a graduation. It's not. Why was it so important that he showed up when his son had 100-degree temperature if it wasn't a big deal? Because it was an important milestone for the child, or else they would have skipped out on it. Just like they feel like the people who have helped this child's life, just like they felt like they should just be okay with skipping out on it, they would have skipped out on it. Also, another thing that I just seen a lot of stuff, and I seen a lot of comments that was very, very concerning. And it was all based on how much one person likes the other person. Like, it just was all about, well, Clarence don't like this person, or this person don't like that person. It does not matter who likes who. It is about the child. It is about the child. Period. Like, y'all have to get out of this mentality that just because you don't like somebody, like, that gives you the right to rip memories from your child. That is not right. That is not right. No matter how many goofy things Chris does as far as his parenting, no matter how many slip ups, whatever, it's still not right to do. Like, and also another thing that I need people to understand, because I've seen a lot of people say, well, he should have known this, or he should have known that, or he should have known this. If Queen has him in private school where he has a tuition, because I think Clarence mentioned a tuition price. If he is not on the paperwork, if Queen did not put him on the emergency contact as she filled out the information, if Queen has not put him down on the school paperwork, the school is not going to release information. If she has Mother Queen Naija, Father Clarence on the paper, guess who they're going to send alerts to for the school information? They're going to send Mother Queen Naija, and I guarantee you, I could put money on it, that Clarence is on the paperwork. But if Chris is not on the paperwork, they're not going to release information to him about his child unless he goes down there and physically shows them court documents and physically shows them his right of parentage. They're not going to release information to him. Also, when you are a parent and you go pick up your child, everything is not sent to your phone. There is some things that I find out because my child literally gets in my car and tells me. It's certain things that I find out because the teacher will walk up to me and tell me certain information of events going on. Certain thing, every single thing, like people keep talking. And I'm like, do y'all not have children? Do y'all not have kids? Because the comments is not, it's not, the math ain't mathing. For the people who have children, the math is not mathing, period. Now, me as a mom, right? I am the only person, unless there is an emergency, that goes to drop and pick my daughter up all the time. Like if there is an emergency situation where I'm not available or I'm out of town, which is rare during the times that she's in school and somebody else picks her up, majority of the time it's me. There has been several times where I have gone to pick up my child. And when I went to go pick up my child, I found out information that was not sent to my phone. I found out information about events that's going on that I would not have known about had I not picked my child up and found out right then and there. So a lot of people was like, oh, well, he should have known this or he should have known that. Like there is certain situations, like I'm going to tell you 2 weeks ago, my daughter, because she has now returned back to in-person school. My daughter was in in-person school. I checked Class Dojo, I checked the text alerts, and I checked my voicemail. The school called me she was supposed to get out of school at 3 o'clock. The school called me at 1:30 saying it was a minimum day today. I'm like, I have not got not one alert, not one text, not one. When did y'all send out a blast saying it was a minimum day? Oh, I'm like, what? Like I had no notification at all. Like, so there's certain things that, you know, you find out if you're actively dropping off and picking up the child, Like it's certain things that you find out in that way. Another thing I wanted to point out, like certain people, like if you're not every day with a situation, like you're not going, like there's certain things that you're not going to remember. Like I don't know. It's just, I just seen a lot of stuff that just didn't add up. But I want to show you guys my poll that I did because I wanted to do a poll on this because I was baffled at the amount of comments that I've seen that people said that the only reason they wanted to go was because she was famous. So I wanted to do a poll and I wanted to get real everyday life people's opinions on what happened with their graduation. If it was their kindergarten graduation, did their mother show up? Did the grandmother show up? Now, when I first posted the poll, the results were 50-50 on 50% said that the grandmother went, 50% said that they didn't. But a lot of those comments were from people who said no, who did not have a graduation. I was looking and I'm like, why are you clicking no if you didn't have a graduation? Like, I had so many DMs of people saying, I hit no on your poll because I didn't have a kindergarten graduation. So no, they didn't come because I didn't have one. When it was in my age, I didn't have one. So I clicked no. I was looking like, well, if you didn't have a graduation, why did you click the poll? It don't apply to you. Then I had people comment in my DMs. I had several, and I could pull them up if y'all don't believe me. It was several people who then hit no because the grandmother was deceased at the time. So then I said, okay, let me update the poll and let me specify. Let me be specific, because the math ain't like, I'm like, if the grandma was deceased, then how could she go? Like, I'm not talking to you. So I had to update the poll, and I had to then be specific in what I was asking. If the grandmother was living at the time, if she was physically living, okay, did she go? Okay, and then I got a more accurate response. Because I kid you not, it was so many people who clicked no who said the grandmother was deceased, and so many people who clicked no who said they did not have a kindergarten graduation. And I'm like, what? 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 It was so crazy. But anyways, I'm going to show you guys the results of the poll once I specified, okay? And so many people then they answered accurately on that poll. So the poll results were 70% said yes, their grandmother or the mother went to the graduation, and 30% said no. Now, of the 30% that said no, a lot of them were due to the mother not being in the same state. Now, I'm going to show you guys these poll results. You can also see this on my community tab, because I've seen a lot of people saying only reason that they wanted to go was because she was famous. And I'm like, that's not true. This is, a real milestone for children. And this is something that, that they grandmothers, especially your first grandbaby, this is something that they want to be a part of. Like, this is something that, that they want to be a part of. And if you just do something out of spite, I don't care if you say it's not out of spite. If you do something out of spite because you're mad, you're wrong. Period. So these are the results. I said, I said, only answer if she was living at the time. Y'all see, I had to specify at the top. I had to specify at the top because, child, baby, let me tell you, like I said, it was a lot going on in the comments of she was not living, she was not there. Like, I'm like, what? Anyways, so as you see from real life people, 1.2 thousand people voted. So this was 1,000 people cast their votes. So out of 1,000 people in a 15-hour span, 70% agreed and said, yes, their mother attended their child's graduation. For those of you guys in the back who think that only because it's famous person, no. This is something that's an important milestone that a lot of families partake in, especially the grandmother and the father of the child. So if you scroll up, you'll see the first comment right here, and it's from a woman by the name of Nisha. She said, I didn't get along with my BD or his mom, but I still sent a text letting them know about it, and they were welcome to attend, and we also sat next to each other and was cordial. It's no one's business that we don't get along. Okay? Alexis says, my baby graduates kindergarten this Thursday and his yaya will be attending. This person says, my mom doesn't have any grandkids yet, but she always would let my dad know about important events in our lives, whether big or small. Now, if he showed up or not is a different story, but she did her part. This person says, my mom has attended preschool, kindergarten, 8th and 12th, and next year she'll be front and center at her graduation. This person says, my mother, okay, I don't know what she's talking about. My parents have 27 grandchildren, 10 great-grandchildren, and have attended every graduation from every last one from kindergarten, 6th grade, 8th grade, high school, and college. This person didn't have really a good relationship. They said, my mother didn't attend either of my children's graduations nor high school graduations because she's never been a loving, positive, and interested mother nor grandmother. And in this situation, it doesn't apply because if your mom's not in the life to begin with, then I don't expect the mom to go to the graduation if they're not even an active grandmother to begin with. This is for the mothers who are active in their grandchildren's lives. So divinely, I feel for you. I'm sad that happened, but if your mother wasn't there in the beginning to begin with, then I mean, Whitney says, even if there is tension between the families, it's best to let someone know. That's what being bigger, the bigger is all about. What was being a grown/man/woman is all about. And that putting aside feelings, it's about the child/children is all about. This person says, my daughter's still too young, but she's the first grandkid, and my mom would definitely be hurt if I left her out because she loves her granddaughter so much. This person says, no, only because it was a limit of 2 tickets. But I did record the graduation and sent it to her. And after the graduation, we all went out to dinner. So this was another thing that popped up. A lot of people were talking about COVID, right? They were saying, oh, well, if there's a certain amount of tickets, then they wouldn't have been able to go, yada, yada, yada. Well, if there was 2 tickets, 1 ticket should have been for Queen, 1 ticket should have been to Chris. It doesn't matter how much of a loving relationship she has with Clarence. It doesn't matter how Chris is his biological father. Okay? Also, another thing that people said, Chris is on probation. Now, probation will deny you of going out of town. However, if there is a special event, you can put in a special request. Now, your child graduating is something that you can put in a request for because this is an important milestone in the child's life. Now, on my Instagram, I also had several people tell me as well who said for their child's graduation, if there was a limit of tickets, they made sure to have a special dinner following right after where they celebrated the child. So all the people who saying, oh, well, if it's only a limited tickets, they still could have supported the child with a dinner. They still could have been there at the location as soon as he walked out of the gates and said, hey, CJ, we here to support you. We here to congratulate you. They still could have been at that school and seen CJ right after he walked out of the gate. There's still no excuse not to tell the people who were instrumental in raising him. None of the excuses that I've seen are valid. None of them. So let me go through some more. This person says they didn't invite nobody because it wasn't no big thing, but everybody joined for cake and ice cream. My opinion, it counts when they small, but more so when they older. Okay. This person says, Ish, she was at the Head Start graduation. We came deep. This person says, my mom goes to every event for her grandkids if invited. My sister and I weren't speaking for one of my kids, and she still was sitting right there for them, though. This person says, lived out of town, and sadly, I didn't attend either because I had work. My baby's paternal grandparents attended, okay? This person says only her and the dad went. This person says, I invite my mother and aunties to everything. They'll get mad if I don't. My family is very supportive. And there was several comments. I'm not going to read through them all, but if you want to go to my community tab, you'll see all the people who commented about this situation and gave their opinion on their mothers being involved. And I just did that for you guys to not just go off of my word. I wanted you guys to see, for the people in the back who think otherwise, that this was a milestone that grandparents and fathers celebrate, period. So I just wanted to give my thoughts on that, because a lot of people kept commenting and telling me in my DM to talk about this, and I'm like, Lord knows I am over talking about Chris and Queen. But because there was so many comments that was concerning, and so many women saying that they had the right to not say nothing because it's their child, and if they don't like the dad, then they're not telling them. It was so concerning. I was like, we got to have a discussion about this. Like, this is bigger than just them two. Like, if you guys are literally raising your child based on how much you like the father, we got to have a discussion about this. We got to talk about this. Period. Okay. Somebody said, I thought they wasn't on speaking terms. It doesn't, like, again, it doesn't matter if you are on speaking terms or not. It does not matter if you are cordial or not. It is about the child. Because when you're done being on speaking terms, you cannot reverse and go back and make up for that time. It's not about you. It's not about how much you like them. It's not about how you're mad. It's about the child. You got to put your pride aside for the child. Period. So I'm going to open up the StreamYard for 20 minutes. I want to let you guys call in, click the link, and you guys let me know what you think about it. And we can have a discussion, and I'm going to end this right at the hour mark. So I'm gonna end this right at the hour mark. You're right. Some parents are childish, right? And I'm gonna tell you, like, it's not easy. It's not easy not liking a person and having to deal with them. It's not. I'm gonna tell you firsthand. It's not easy doing that. It's certain situations where I'm like, oh, I can't stand this. You know what I'm saying? But for my child, I still have to do what's in her best interest, what's good for her, not how I feel, not what makes me happy or sad, or it's not about me. G?
Hi, Neek.
Hey, what's up?
What's going on? Happy holidays.
Happy holidays. Happy Memorial Day.
Yeah, so as far as like everything you spoke on, I'm also a parent of two. And me and my child's father do not have the best relationship. However, I do believe in involving both parties. I thought it was very spiteful, very underhanded, like, very undermining. Like, I don't know. I feel exactly where you're coming from. It has nothing to do with Clarence because guess what? If that was Clarence and Clarence family, then they would have, then definitely Lee and all his mom and all his people would have been there, and he would have made.
You went out. G?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so if it was Clarence family, he would have absolutely made sure that his family attended that, that graduation for Legend. So, I just, the whole thing is just absolutely like, I don't know, just how they handle it, how he handled it, what he
And then now
said.
he's taking shots at her mom, basically calling her a fake Christian. And
Yeah.
I'm like, whether, like, I'll be looking at her mom prayers and I'll be
But
cringing
she
at them
does.
too. but that's not his place to publicly say. Like to attack her mom who hasn't verbally attacked you and calling her basically in so many words a fake Christian, that's out of line. And I don't care how mad I am at my mama, my nigga is not about to be out here calling my mama out online. Like, no.
No, that's absolutely unacceptable. And also, just to add this to that as well about Mama Reva, she does do prayers. She does
Right.
do prayers. She has prayer sessions all the time, and I believe they are on Saturdays. So it's just, to me, it was just like, you got this man, and then it's deep because it speaks to these women, and this is why it's so hard for strong women to have a good relationship with men, because they think that it's that we're being too strong or it's too masculine. But it's like weak women like her is like, and this is what they expect us to be, and it's like, no, this is not an example of a strong black woman. This is not an example. She is not a good example of good role models for these black young women that follow her. You know, is what she's representing to these women. To me, it's just like, yeah, no, no, this is not acceptable. This is not how real relationships work. You know, this is your guy is not supposed to have that much control over your life to where he's dictating how you handle your situation with your child. That's definitely affecting that little boy, because he's definitely in love with his father. You know, and for him to come in and for him as a father now to even allow that to even happen speaks a lot of volume to his character, to show that he's not really a man, you know. Because if the shoe was on the other foot, would you, even if you don't like him, that's just that, even if you don't like him, you have a son, and if this woman was doing you the same way, how would you feel not
Right.
being invited, your sister, your mom, and different things like that, you know? So it's just, I don't know. These people, I don't know if they human. What are they like?
Now I don't know if they human. I'm done with you, G.
I don't know.
Thank you for calling in.
No
Bye,
problem.
girl. She gonna say I don't know if they human. Love faces.
Hey,
Hey, what's up?
and nothing. Okay, I was chiming in because I just had this conversation with my sister yesterday. I go through the same thing with my baby daddy. This man, he calls me all out my name all the time, but I can't let that. I mean, I can't sit there and hold that against him when it comes to his child. Like I have to put that to the side when it comes to his child. That's just like if my child fall off a bicycle and she have to be rushed to the emergency room, that's I have to call him and let him know that his child is in the emergency room. You feel me? Like
Hmm.
you can't just not tell the father of your child that they not graduating. Like one of my kids graduated from the 8th grade this year. Of course, my mom and dad, the grandparents, they always upset because only two people could come. So what I did was recorded it, and we had breakfast after, the graduation or whatever. Now, for us, her stepdad did come. For us, her dad. Now, this child right here, I have two kids. This child, her dad is no communication, like nothing. Like we have no communication whatsoever. He haven't saw his child in about 10 years.
Hmm.
So, and she 14. So that's a different aspect. But with my 9-year old, it's different. Like he could take me to court. If we go to court today and and I tell the judge, yeah, I didn't invite him because he called me a bitch. How the
Hmm.
judge gonna look at me? The
Right.
judge gonna
You're
be
gonna be
like, what they
like,
got to
girl,
do
you being
with
petty.
right? They gonna be like, what they got to do with anything? Like that's words at the end of the day. I mean, of course you be mad because they calling you out your name, and you don't want that. You don't want your child to see all that or whatever, but you still have to put your differences to the side and let your
Yeah.
baby dad know that this child is graduating. And do you want to come? She should have gave him the opportunity to be like, no, I can't make it. I can't leave out of Houston. It's just I don't know. I
Yeah.
just think it's petty what she did. Like it's very petty. When I saw it, I was like, oh, that's the bitter baby mama right there. Like that's being very bitter. I don't know if it's her or if it's Clarence. Like that nigga better not come to my, I don't want to see that nigga. I don't know who it is. Like, cause he could be behind the scenes saying shit to her to where she
All
feel
right, no,
like,
no cursing, no cursing. I let one slide.
oh, I'm sorry. He could be saying stuff behind the scenes to her that, he could be saying anything behind the scenes to her to where she feel like she can't invite her parents or her baby daddy. So it's no telling. I
All
just
right.
want
Well,
to say
thank you,
that.
sis.
Thank you.
All right. No cursing, guys. Unforgettable. Unmute your mic.
Hey, Neek.
Hey.
Um, Neek, all of them are wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I have two children, and both of them have different daddies. And I have done things that I'm ashamed of, and they have done things that I'm pretty sure they're ashamed of. They're both married. I'm happy for them. I wish them all the best. But when it comes down to those two girls, my number one goal is to make sure that they have the best prosperous life that they can possibly have.
Mm-hmm.
I don't play that game of, well, he can come and you can't come. Neat. When my daughters graduate, both daddies are at the graduation because they both play a key role in their lives, in both of their lives. You know what I mean? When I was in culinary school, one would get both of them one weekend, the next one would get the other ones, and one of my daughter's fathers has court ordered visitation.
Mm-hmm.
And he's a mama's boy. So I went through some drama there. But the the end goal has always been for the child. Now, as far as with um Queen Naija, to me, she's kind of being controlled because why would you sit here and allow a man to make you walk away from your family? Your mom?
Well,
I can
people are saying
understand.
that her family is toxic.
Okay, everybody's family is toxic. There's Nick, I'm pretty sure you have been around some of your cousins or something like that. Next thing you know, certain ones you be like, I'm not going out with you because it's gonna be a fight, or I'm gonna go out with you, I might get drunk. There's problems in everybody's family.
Mm-hmm.
So he's trying to say that his family is the best and that's who she need to be around. You know what I mean? And for her to sit here and exclude the father, Neek, that bothers me. Not so much as for her, but for the child. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Because from what I have seen from your videos, because I don't follow him, I follow you. I've seen that he's kind of, a really good dad. There's a lot of women out here who would kill to have a man that is that invested in his child is, as he is. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? And for her to exclude him, yes, a lot of folks might say, well, it's just the kindergarten. But it meant something to both people, the child, the mom, the dad. So why would you just exclude family out of it? Even if they couldn't, it because of COVID, there was a reason that he couldn't do it. Nick, that he couldn't attend is what I'm saying. Nick, I have videos to this day of both my daughters graduating, and I can show you both dads were there and wives. That had nothing to do with me. You know what I mean? Yeah, we have our issues, but when it all boils down to it, what we gonna do about these kids? You know what I
Right.
mean? And they have other children. The kids are crazy about me. I have it. Believe me, I can tell you horror stories of stuff I've done to them, or they done to me, or whatever. But the children, I try my best to make sure my daughters are not going to be, harmed or affected, or they be one of the stereotypes of what the single parent household.
Right, right.
And yes, she's married. Okay, I understand that.
Who's
But
married?
or I'm sorry, I thought she was married, or she's with Clarence, or what's his name? The guy, the
Yeah, she's not married to Clarence.
okay. Well, she's with him and the other guy, and he keeps throwing shots at CJ's dad. Do you think this boy don't see this? You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? And why would you? My daughter's fathers don't do not. Okay, one of the oldest girl dad, he and I do. We just got on speaking terms. About 4 or 5 years ago. Yeah, it used to be doing text. He actually told his wife what she and I have going on with our daughter. If you're not gonna be helping us, you're not gonna be a hindrance. You're not gonna get in the middle of this because, they know I want the best for my kids.
All
You
right.
know what I
I'm
mean?
gonna go to the next person because I want to wrap this up at an hour. Unforgettable cutie. Sorry to cut you off.
That's cool.
All right. Because a lot of people chiming in, so I want to get to everybody. Um, Shay, go ahead.
Oh, I'm here. So, I was in the comments reading, and it's just like to me, this whole thing with Queen is just mind
Speak
blowing.
up.
How
I
she
can't
has.
hear you.
Oh,
I
can you
can't
hear
hear
me
you.
now?
Just speak up.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. This whole situation with Queen is just mind blowing because at the end of the day, Chris has a say so with his child. If he goes to school, he should be involved in everything. Doesn't matter if Clarence feels some type of way about him. Like my
Also,
son's
another thing,
father.
I'm sorry to cut you off. Another
Uh-huh.
thing, when you have a court order, and I forgot to mention this, when you have a court order, when you get if he gets visitation, that means he has joint custody. With joint
Exactly.
custody, the terms of joint custody is you have to inform anytime you put your child in school, anytime
Mm-hmm.
you put your child in a sport, the mother or the primary custodial parent is to notify the father of that information. So by Clarence doing a video saying that he does not have the information of what school the child goes to, that is only showing a violation on Queen's part because as soon as she put him in the school, due to court order agreements, when you have visitation, you have joint custody. So Chris has joint custody at the very least. The terms of joint custody is you have to share school information. So for him saying that Chris does not have that school information is only showing a violation on Queen's part because you have to share anytime
Oh
you put
wow, I didn't know that.
That is
yeah,
true. I
that
have
is
to. I'll go through
100%
that
valid.
right
No,
now.
I mean she never told him what school he goes to. The child goes to.
They said that he don't got the information.
Oh wow. Well, that
The
makes
thing.
everything different. I just sometimes I feel like the dad is not in the situation, not responsible. Like not all the way. I'm not saying it's
It
his
doesn't
fault, but
matter.
I'm just saying like sometimes women have more of like the child's responsibilities on her back, and it seems like the man always gets like, oh, like brushed off because I don't even know how to explain it really. It's just like I feel like if I wasn't with my baby father and I didn't talk to him, I know my baby father would call my daughter's school and be like, I know she's in this grade where she's gonna have a graduation. He's gonna make sure he makes it there, even if
Well,
we
how
don't
he
talk.
wouldn't
This
know
is
if
what I know
Queen
for a
didn't tell
fact
him.
about who I had a baby with. You know what I mean? Like I wouldn't even have to worry about if we didn't talk, will he show up? Because I know for a fact my baby's father would call the school himself and say, I know this is common sense when you have kids too. You know, first grade or kindergarten, whatever, they're going to graduate. That's
You
common
also know that
sense.
if you have children, that the father has to be put on the information for the school
But
to
yeah,
release
if he
information.
just doesn't know what school to call in the first place, then I ain't got nothing to say.
One thing I can say about Chris, he was an active father in CJ's life.
He was. That's true.
And for Queen to pull that, it's like a slap in the face because when you were out there in New York doing what you're doing, her mother had CJ, he had CJ. Like I'm not understanding. Now that you're with Clarence, everything has to be cut off. Your family, your son's father. And that makes Clarence look bad because no stepdad will sit there and let, their stepchild go without their father.
Right.
Yeah. I'm gonna go
That's
to
like in my
Brandon.
Me,
situation.
All right, let's go to Brandon.
may I please? Oh, okay.
All right, wait, let's go to Brandon. Brandon, unmute your mic. Go ahead. Brandon. Hello. All right. Who wanted to speak next?
I
Who wants?
did, boss lady.
Okay, go ahead.
Nick, this has been lit a fire up under me ever since I saw Clarence make that video to where he was ridiculing her family and saying all kinds of stuff to her sister and saying all this negative stuff. I was in here lit because I did not appreciate him going against her family, and she was not there and the family wasn't there to defend themselves. He's looking at a video. He had to get drunk to make a video to talk about the reasons why the father was not invited. It is not his place to say why the father was not invited. He should not have made that video, period, point blank. I feel like he was out of pocket. I feel like he's a handler for Queen. I feel like he is keeping her in line, and then it goes back to that video when she went to California and she went to make that video, and she was trying to listen to the gospel music, and she was scared and she was trying to pray, and they said that they didn't have no gospel music, and he didn't bring or send or whatever her gospel music for her to listen to, and I believe that I mean, I don't want to, put nothing on nobody, but the way that scene looked and how they had her sit in that creepy chair, I believe it was some kind of ceremony. I just do, and I
I
believe
don't know
that.
what you're talking about. What you talking about?
I'm talking about the video when she went to go make that medicine video, and they had her go up into up in the mountains, up into that creepy place, and sit in that little creepy chair with the little
Yeah, I
thin
know what you're
chair that
talking
looking like.
about.
Oh, I
Yeah,
don't.
I believe that he has a part in that, and that's why he just staying with her. Because she met him on IG. He was a Wednesday week, whatever you call that, you know, what you call a boy. But now,
Man crush.
yeah, that he was, and she went with him from that. Okay, that tells you right there. Okay, if this guy is on here being eye candy and all this, he has something wrong in his head that makes him think that, oh, women are gonna fall for me. I'm gonna, get this is his get down, and she fell for it, and left her husband, left her relationship, and got in a relationship with this guy that is a narcissist that she did not know. She jumped right into a whole relationship with him, and now she's letting him control her life. Her career is ruined because of
It's
him.
not even her husband. That's all I want to
Not
add.
even married.
It's
Not
not
even married.
even her husband.
Her her career is on pause because she's not making moves because she's listening to him.
And I
And
think
All
I
right. I'm
really
gonna go to
despise him.
all right, wait,
I just
boss lady. I'm
okay.
gonna go to Brandon because if this is a guy, I want to hear from a guy before we wrap.
All right, go Brandon. Let's
Brandon,
hear this.
Brandon, don't tell me your stuff ain't working still. All right, we're gonna go to Christy.
I'm just gonna make this point right here. I've been through that situation in my life. I have 3 children, and I've been in a relationship with my children's father and separated and got into another relationship. When you involve yourself in a relationship too fast, and this person, and I've watched all the Queen videos. I was a big fan when she made them with her husband, and then when Clarence had his videos, I watched all of his and what he represented when I watched his videos, and he's just a true narcissistic. I really do feel like in this relationship that she is trying to please him in every which and way that she can. And when I watched the relationship with him with his father in the beginning, he was a real caring father. I didn't see any signs that she would want to keep the child away from him. When I saw them together, they was a nice family. You would not known anything was going on unless she expressed it. And then you start paying attention. But I truly do believe that when you put yourself in a situation like that, you affect the children. And she does not know that she is damaging that child. I did some severe damage to my children by making decisions off of something personal, how I feel about my baby daddy, which is wrong. Because at the end of the day, these children, they're not asked to be here and they're on earth and they want both of their parents to be involved. Children don't care about personal problems that adults have. And I just wish that adults will understand that children are going to be nice to both of the parents. You can bash that dad all day long. You can tell them your dad ain't nothing, but that child's still going to see their father for what they see. Let them make that decision. And I just feel like, and I can speak on this. I was very, very, very hurt when I broke up with my children's father. Very hurt. So hurt. And it's hard to like come back around that person and act like a mature adult when you hurt. Certainly when you see that person happy and involved with somebody else, you don't want to feel that way, but naturally as a woman, you're going to feel that way. And you make rash decisions with your children. But that graduation, she knows how popular she is and she know how popular her significant other is. And for her not to do that, knowing that he's going to see those pictures, she was working off of her. She was trying to be mean. And if she's going to post the pictures of the graduation, he's going to see that. So what was not the point of you not letting them know about the graduation if you was going to do that anyways? So you
Because
just
she
make
was
it
worried
show.
about Clarence's feelings.
That's what she's worried about. But see, at the end of the day, that's not Clarence's child. That man can leave tomorrow. Is he going to take the child with him? No. So you
Right.
still going to go back to that father and want that child to be taken care of by the father. You cannot turn on the on and off button when you want him to be a dad and when you don't want him to be a dad to benefit everybody else around you. Because in the beginning, you made that child with him. You was a happy family then until he did something personal to you. But did he ever do anything personal to the child?
Mhm.
That's the question that she needs to ask herself. Is my child endangered by coming around him? Is my child feeling his hurt when he comes to a graduation? I mean, that's what she needs to put in consideration, not how she feels when he comes around. And that's what most of us women do. We take our personal problems, our personal feelings, and we put it onto our children. And then we feel some type of way when our children are old enough to tell us about ourselves and say, look, you damaged my relationship with my father. I'm not close with my father because you chose to do that. Your children are going to tell you the truth at the end of the day. They don't care. They're going to tell you. So,
Well,
I
and
mean,
then baby Chris is already a media, savvy, and so he's gonna see all this. The
that's what
baby
I'm
boy.
saying. So there was no reason she could, if she didn't want to talk to him on the phone, she could have posted it on the thing. If she didn't want to talk to him, she had ways of. I do think that the man she's with now, I feel like he's cheating. I've been feeling like that from out the back, and I feel
Oh
like he
yes.
don't want her around her baby daddy. He don't want her around her. Period. I feel that. Now I've been feeling that since I've been watching them too. I think it's more drama going on than what she's releasing. She's not happy. I remember how she used to be, bubbly, funny to watch. I used to enjoy watching her videos.
Yeah, she was so
I enjoy
goofy
listening to
and
her music. Her
giggly.
music
Can
is
y'all hear
dope.
me?
I don't like it.
Can you
We
all
can
hear
hear you
me?
now, Brandon. Was that Brandon?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Oh,
Yeah.
Brandon, I thought you was a guy.
That's my son's name.
Oh, okay.
But no, what I wanted to say is,
I want to
it's
hear from a guy, y'all, before we
it's
wrap. Go ahead.
it's been said that Queen is not allowed to speak to Chris. Period. That is why his sister has to pick up CJ at the airport. She's not to speak to him. She's not to see him. All she can do is text. So for a long time, he said he wasn't talking to CJ because when he would call, Queen is not allowed to talk to him, like not even answer the phone. So what he did was he bought baby CJ a phone so that they could talk because, they wasn't letting him talk to his son. So when the grandmother was speaking the other day, Chris's mother, she said the phone has been taken away. I don't know why, But she said the phone has been taken away and Queen is not answering her phone. I believe that Clarence told her, don't tell Chris because his PO probably gonna let him come. Girl, you know that Clarence don't want to be in the same room with Chris. All that stuff he done talked and all that. So I believe he told her Chris is not to be there, point blank, period.
Well,
And
what
she
she
went
said
Well,
in
there.
well,
her
Queen's
said in
family
her
wants to put paws on him. Her
what
family wants to.
What Queen said in her thing was, oh, they wasn't gonna come anyway. So she made the assumption that they weren't gonna come based on her personal feelings of what she feel like they're gonna do. Like you can't assume for somebody you don't know just because they probably don't get along with you or whatever. Like you can't indefinitely, make that determination on your own to say what somebody would have did or could have did. You still have to give them the option to come
Right.
through or not.
And
Somebody needs to
Chris's
mute their
mother,
mic, Nick.
when Chris's mother was online, she said if she would have known, her and her daughter and her son would have been there. If Chris couldn't have gone, it would have been her, Dwayne, and I don't know the sister's name, but yeah, she said of course we would have been there.
Tina.
Now, as far as Tina and all them, I don't know if they would have flew in, but like you said, the schools have where you can FaceTime and all that. Sometimes me and my family, we FaceTime, it'd be 20 of us on the phone. All of us on the phone. I mean, it could have been a group FaceTime watching him. They could have really set that up real nice. Everybody got to see it once. But they just was ornery and they was selfish and
No, he's a
conniving.
narcissist.
And they done took that
Yeah.
boy's phone. You know, um, they know how much um Clarence knows how much CJ loves his dad. He told Tina now they couldn't see Legend. Okay, they didn't even trip off of it. Okay. So I think he wanted them to be mad or whatever. But now it's like he's taking CJ away from them too. And he has no right. He has no right. I don't like him and God don't like ugly. Like your family can come. Your family, if his family could have been there, I bet you Lee and all of them would have came
All
just
right,
to
I'm
make
gonna
Chris
go
mad.
to Meek Mob. Go ahead, Meek Mob.
Hey, Neek. So I'm so glad you talked about this because it was driving me crazy yesterday. When I was watching the comments because um, I remember when we heard Tina talk like it might have been 2 years ago. It was like I was like believing her, not believing her, but this time like I was just listening to her emotion about when she was talking about Clarence, and then watching his video. I just felt like he was out of place for even speaking to like no man of mine is going to speak to my family like that. I don't care if me and my mother not talking, we not cool. I don't care. You're not addressing my mother, and then Queen's mom didn't even address Clarence or say anything really about it like that. So I just felt like he was really out of place when he's speaking. He has this cocky, arrogant attitude now. And just like the other caller, she said she was watching him. I was watching him up until like that the whole hospital incident, and I just started like not feeling Clarence. Like I feel like Clarence at first came off as the Captain Save a Queen, and now he's coming off as an F boy. Like giving me F boy vibes. And then before he had to talk to the family, he gonna say, "Oh, yeah, because Diddy's truck was here, and I'm so drunk." Like everything is always like he's throwing in their face, like he about the money that he has, or like we not in this. You putting your family in a sinking ship. Basically, he's saying like your family, everybody was broke. Everybody was broke. Clarence was broke. Family was broke. Like there is no difference. Everybody is getting their money off of Queen. Like, I just don't. I think he's so out of place, so disrespectful, and his cocky, arrogant attitude is just. I just
Right.
don't
Makes
see
me
anymore.
so
He's
mad.
the wrong
Oh,
way. And then
he's a
those
bum. He
questions,
was living in his mama's basement. He's a
yeah,
bum.
those questions
He
that he
he
was
met
asking,
Queen
All right,
on
boss
GI.
lady, wait, let her finish.
the
IG
questions,
rather.
the questions that he was asking. I'm like, girl, my mother done picked up my son 3-4 times. She still asks me what's the name of his day on school, let alone he will not know. She will never know. She don't know his teacher. But the first, I'm gonna make sure and me and my mother don't always see eye to eye. But my mother
That
and
part.
At least, like, all right, I see you beefing. I feel like Queen was being petty. First of all, she was being petty, not telling Chris. She was being petty with the picture. And I think Clarence is not, he's coming off as he's defending Queen, but it's more so he's enjoying this. Like he enjoys coming and he's like, all right, let me get to this reaction. Laughing like he's laughing. Like it's very disappointing to watch. But I think I do think it's like somebody else said there's more going on behind the scenes or whatever with Clarence and Queen. I hope that he does not like eventually hurt her and she's in the same, she's writing the medicine part too. Like that's the vibes I'm getting from the whole situation. But and I'm glad you was talking about it because we were debating it and I'm just like, I don't know, I just don't feel it. I'm not feeling it at all.
Yeah, I just feel like, okay, if you want to go at Tina, cool, whatever. But for him to disrespect the mom and be like, oh, now you want to pray? Oh, you wasn't praying with Chris. Like, first of all, she didn't have a YouTube channel when she was with Chris.
Girl,
Queen don't tell her to get a YouTube channel. So for him to be saying that, and then her fans to be agreeing, like, oh, he has a point. Like, what point does he have?
He didn't have a point. He should be quiet. And it's giving me like real, not to say not, it's just giving me feminine energy. Like that's not masculine at all. Like a masculine man would have just been like, you know what, your family tripping. But just on this one, you could have just set that one out. Be quiet. Just be quiet.
A real man wouldn't address her family, period.
Period. Right.
He wouldn't even say anything about her family if that was a real man. He would let her do it.
Handle your family.
Right. Exactly. And he's not going to disrespect my mama. I don't care what's going on with me and my mother. You're not going to disrespect my mama, bro. Like, I don't
understand. And that's why Tina keep getting on him every time.
You guys something. My mom is 83 years old, and my family, she moved with me, and my family started going against me and saying, I was so bad on them. I mean, right to this day, they're like, oh, you cuss me well. Yes, I will. About my mama? Oh, yeah.
Right. That part.
Right. All right. So we're going to go to Brittany, did you talk already?
Everybody didn't say what I had to say, but I was just feeling some type of way of her letting him constantly disrespect her mother. That's the same thing I was saying. I don't care what's going on with me and my mama. You're not going to disrespect my mama. Point blank and the period. No. We would tear the house down behind my mama. No, I don't understand that.
Right. All right.
But you're not going to say nothing. Sorry.
I've been watching them for years, right? This boy is just, she was still with Chris when she was sneaking around with Clarence. And Chris was on it. Chris was on it because he even said it when she posted him. I mean, he even said it because Clarence started liking her stuff a little too much. Then after all that, her mother always had him. That baby was going back between her mother and Chris. She was doing what she was doing with Clarence or whatever the case may be. Don't nobody care. Whatever. That girl, her sister is speaking straight facts because you could see it in the videos. There was plenty of times her mother was not allowed in her house, but her mother would cook and bring her stuff and him too. But she got to sit in the car. It's a whole video of them in the car. I don't care about nothing who I'm with. Even if I don't speak to my mother, you ain't gonna say nothing to my mother. I don't care who it is. Not no man, no girl, no nothing. I don't play about my mother.
Right. And not to cut you off.
Period. He needs to mind his business.
Go ahead, baby. I'm sorry.
And when they come to that graduation, she did that to be funny. At the end of the day, you could have told his father, because at the end of the day, he could have put in a request and they would have let his father come, because they make exceptions when it's a part of their children, because the court is not playing that for a child not to be around, for a parent not to be there for the kid unless the situation is too extreme. Mm-hmm. He would have been able to make it to that graduation, because when she had to go do something, she gave him 2 days notice to get his son because she needed a babysitter for a week. He dropped everything and got his daggone child. Yeah. She making up excuses. Nobody want to hear that mess. She is, I can't say the word, but she hypnotized. But everybody know what I mean. She hypnotized. And she needs to stop that. Clarence needs to mind his business, because the same way you get him is the same way you lose him. He better hope ain't nobody creeping in her comments doing the same thing he was doing, because then she gonna do the same thing to him that she did to Chris. And he ain't gonna like that.
All right, Nicholas.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, go ahead. Finally, we got a guy after all this time. We got a guy to come on a long time ago. Go ahead.
Nah, everybody already kind of said like what I was thinking about, but I mean, I will come on here solely because you were asking for like a guy's perspective. One thing that I will say is that the whole thing is really childish, and it's like if both of them are adults, they need to act like adults. One thing I from what I've seen, because I've seen three different instances in my personal life that were similar to this one, and what's going to end up happening is that CJ is going to grow up to have a major hatred for not only his mother but Clarence. And if we really want to go off for a stretch, his younger brother's probably going to have a disdain for his own father as well as like his mother too, because like he can see how shady they are type
Yeah.
situation. And I know, and another thing that I was saying is that with Queen, especially if she knows what her mother went through, especially like I know she told about like when her mother was pregnant and like when she was a little girl or whatever, and how like her mother's like how her father who passed away, like how he treated her mother and stuff. If you know that your mom went through all that stuff, why are you letting another dude disrespect your mother? You
Yeah.
know what I mean? So it's just kind of, and then I know for a fact, I mean, I can't really speak on her behalf. I know for a fact, like my mother, because my family we're Dominican, so my mom would have went crazy and probably would have ended up like slashing somebody for saying something like that. Because I'm like, that's how my family is. Because I'm like, nobody's disrespecting nobody. My family, they're all together. They all round up together. So I just think that it was kind of distasteful, and she's and Queen herself is going to be mad because the day is going to end up coming where they're going to separate and he's going to admit to her that he never cared about CJ at all, and then she's going to feel stupid, and that's going to be another album for her to make.
Yeah. Well, we could end on that note. Thank you guys all for coming on. I didn't want to end it without hearing from a guy. So I definitely wanted to hear from a guy. But thank you all for giving your input. If you guys did not see the poll that I did on this, go to my community tab and see all the people who commented about how their mother, their grandmother, their child had involvement with the key people in their lives, and that was a big deal. A lot of people kept trying to say that a kindergarten graduation, oh, it's just kindergarten, oh, it's no big deal. Okay, if you feel like it's no big deal, then that just shows that you are not raised in a supporting family. But over here in my household and in several other people's household, each milestone that you graduate, kindergarten, 5th grade, 8th grade, senior, all of those are important milestones in a child's life. And in my family, we celebrate it. And a lot of the people who was in my community tab, they celebrated as well. And it has nothing to do with fame. You know, you tell people and you let them decide whether or not it is, you know, important for them to make it or not make it. Okay. So that's all I wanted to say on that. Now, as it pertains to, I think her manager, when she was 15, she came piling on. I feel like she was kind of lame for bringing that up. Like, you know, when it's right, it's right. If it's wrong, it's wrong. I'm going to keep it real. The manager who tried to add on to the drama and trying to put Queen on blast, I felt like she was very lame for doing that. Like it was ridiculous for her to bring that up. You know, that was ridiculous. Like, girl, bye. Like, it was so ridiculous for her to come and join in on this situation. So I'm gonna keep it real with y'all all across the board. Like, if I feel a certain way, whether I care for a person or not, I'm gonna keep it real. The lady who came and tried to jump in on the bandwagon, she was lame for that. Period. Period. Point blank. She was lame. Um, Briscoe, are you a guy? Unmute your mic.
Oh nah, I'm a woman.
Oh, okay, I was like, let me let one person on. If it's okay, go ahead, real quick, Liz. We wrapping up. What you want to say?
All I want to say is like I feel that like like the father, Chris, like come on, bro, that's your kid. You could have called up and see. Like we give these men way too many excuses. Like a mother would have knew. You know what I'm saying? And I agree with you. The rest of the people jumping in, like grow up. You know, it's none of your business. And Queen, I would have never said anything about it. Some things are better left not on social media. And I think that's one of them. I think parenting, I don't have kids, but it should be kept quiet, you know, like, yeah, so that's my thoughts on it. And thank you for having me up.
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming on. All right, so on that note, we are going to end this situation. I think that the people who do not have children, I feel like a lot of people, they think like, oh, this is how it goes or that's how it goes. It's a lot of things that you don't understand until you are a child, until you are going up to these schools, until you are dealing with these schools. Then you know how it operates. A lot of opinions that I've seen came from people who don't have children, and a lot of the times when you don't have children, you can't really relate to a situation because how you think something should go is not necessarily how it really goes in the real world. So you got to think about that. So go to my community tab, hear from other moms, hear from other people who are talking about this situation, who are parents. Again, I'm going to wrap with this. Me and my daughter's father, we don't get along. We don't like each other at all. But at the same time, the important events for my child, I still acknowledge and let him know. If he decides to show up, that's on him, whether he decides to show up or not, period. But he is aware of these events when it's her graduation, things like that, certain milestones. I still let him know whether I like him or not. Because at the end of the day, it's not about how much I like him. It's about what's best for my child, memories for my child, things like that. So being that I am a person who does not get along with my baby daddy, I felt like I was the perfect person to talk about this because it doesn't matter how much you like the person or not. It's about your child. And I need y'all to know that when y'all making these decisions for your children based on your personal feelings. It's not about how you feel. It's not about how kind somebody is to you. It's not about if they stare you down and look at you sideways or, pouncing around a new female. It's not about that. It's about your child at the end of the day. And I just wanted to let a lot of the young mothers out there know that as well, because a lot of us, we make bad situations worse sometimes, being caught up in our feelings. So we get caught up in our feelings because we feel like, F that. He did me this way. He did me that way. So we make a situation that's already not good worse because we are harping on our feelings and not thinking about our child. So I just wanted to talk to the young mothers out there. You gotta, when you're dealing with a child, you have to put your personal feelings to the side. You have to put how much you don't like that nigga. Like, if you know what I'm saying, you be at that graduation in your head, you could in your head, in your mind, silently to yourself, you could call that motherfucker all the VA niggas you want. Look at this buster in your head. But you gotta tuck your feelings for your child. Period. But I'll be sitting there like, look at this mother. But when my child look my way, we both waving at my daughter. That's what you got to do when it comes to your child, period. No matter how much you don't like them, it's about the child, period. And you can't assume what somebody is going to do, period. Like, you can't assume that. I just had a birthday for my daughter, right? I did not invite everybody in my family for my daughter's birthday. I didn't. Like, I have one cousin who I didn't invite her because she doesn't have children. So I'm like, well, you don't have kids, so you ain't going to want to come to a kid's birthday party. This same cousin who I didn't invite, who I assumed wouldn't show up because she doesn't have kids, came. She came and brought 4 children to my daughter's birthday party. And she said, why you didn't invite me? I said, well, because you don't have kids. I made the assumption that you would not come. She was there with 4 other kids and said, I got nieces and nephews. My nieces and nephews, I brung my nephews. So I just want to use that as an example. You can't assume for people. I assumed for my cousin. I thought she wouldn't come because she didn't have children. I made the assumption for her because she didn't have children. You cannot make decisions based on assumptions when it comes to your child and the key people involved in dealing with their lives. Okay? So from Queen, she made the assumption. She said, well, at the end of the day, they wasn't going to come anyways. Like, you can't assume, like, especially like my cousin, I didn't have to invite her or not. Like, she is not like key intricate in my child's life. So it wasn't detrimental that I had to invite her, but I just use that as an example. But when it comes to the key people in your child's life, you have to you cannot base your decisions off of assumptions. You have to still tell the key people in their lives and let them make the choice to come or not come. Still do your part as a mom. Okay? So that's all I wanted to say on that. On that note, peace.